Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we will look at a game which involves a Stonewall. I played in a tournament. My opponent rated about 1700 USCF, played the Stonewall, and we'll learn what to do against it and what it is. So he started with the bird opening. I played the main move pawn z5. You can also play e5, which is the from gambit, and it has its pluses and minuses. More minuses than pluses, but it's kind of fun to play. One fun line goes e5 takes d6 takes bishop d6. The point being that black threatens queen h4. And if white is not careful, queen h4, pawn g3, black will take and checkmate. For example, let's give white a random weird move. Play queen h4 and we win. We can even give up our queen. And so the main move for white is to stop queen h4 by playing knight f3. And now black plays this very unusual looking move, pawn g5. Black can also play knight f6, which also leads to some fun variations, but that's a story for a different time. Let us get back to this game though. I played pawn c5. My opponent played pawn e3. Sorry, knight f3 first. Pawn e3 will happen. Now, if you notice, this bishop is not coming this way because there is a pawn here, which means it wants to go this way, which means one of the best moves is pawn g6 to get on that diagonal first. My opponent now played e3. I played bishop g7. He played d4, taking control of the center and blocking my bishop. I challenged that pawn. He could take. The downside of taking, he opens my bishop. I can very easily get the pawn back with a fork, which is why he completes the Stonewall. Now let's talk about why it's good and why it's bad. So white has this very solid structure. He has a very nice outpost for his square on e5. And if black is not careful, white can checkmate black very quickly. What's the downside? Well, black has control of this square. Notice if we put our knight here, white cannot kick it with anyone. And also this bishop, if you noticed, is not the greatest bishop in the world. At any rate, I developed my knight. My opponent developed his bishop, and I played bishop f5. Now the point of bishop f5 is if he takes, I take. I have nice control of this square. I also have control of e5 if I need to. I don't need to castle. I could, but I could also play here, bring my bishop back in the other direction, put my rooks on an open line, castle long, and I'm absolutely fine. Which is why my opponent did not take, but my opponent spent an extra move moving the bishop, which is not ideal because you don't want to move your bishop twice in the opening. Now I developed my knight. The reason I moved it here is after this knight goes here, this knight would like to follow. Now my opponent castled. I castled. My opponent played knight e5. That's a nice knight. Now white has ideas of playing g4. I consider playing knight e4, but I was a little bit worried about this. So I decided to trade off my bishop, which is not the best move in the world, because I'm trading a good piece for a somewhat average piece. But it's okay, because the position is closed. Okay, so I took, he took back. I'm still very slightly better. I brought my knight to e4 now. That's a nice knight. He played g4. Gain more space. Maybe he'll play f5 at some point. Maybe he'll play g5, h4, and h5. I played e6 to open the door for the queen. If he ever plays this move, I'm double attacking this knight. He played bishop d2 because he wants to bring his bishop into the game. I took this knight, knight e5. He took with this pawn. If he took with this pawn, my plan was going to be bishop h6. And there is pressure on this pawn, and I might take, because white cannot take back, because then this bishop will be double attacked. Okay. He took with the other pawn. And now that's a very nice pawn, so I needed to challenge it, which I did with f4, with f6. He took. Now computer wants me, although, yeah, it wants me to take with the queen. I took with the bishop. And here my opponent played not the best move. He played pawn g5, which looks reasonable, because now white can play h4, h5. The downside is he missed a tactic, which is bishop takes pawn. He shouldn't take, he should just play down a pawn, and okay, I'm quite a bit better, but life goes on. But he took, and now this is devastating for white, because he does not have a development. I took back, white has two moves here. He can black with the bishop, or he can move the king. In the game, he moved the king. If he blocks with the bishop, we can take here. Notice the queen cannot take because it defends this guy. If he takes with the king, we bring our rook into the attack, and this is just not pleasant. If he comes back, we'll play h5, and we pick up the bishop. If he goes the other way, we play this move, and this is just not going to be pleasant. Also, if he goes here, this falls. So in the game, he moved king h1. Now I actually played the second best move, although, yeah, it's slightly worse. The best move is rook f2. The logic is I'm throwing checkmate. The other logic is if he takes, I'll take and I fork. And the move rook g1 allows this very nice sacrifice. Takes, check, check. If he goes here, this is checkmate. If he goes here, so checkmate. And if he goes here, this is checkmate, which is kind of nice. At any rate, I played the other move. I played knight f2. He has to take, I take back. Threatening mate. In the game, if he plays queen g1, I can trade queens and take the bishop, and I'm up. So to demonstrate, takes, takes. I'm up, a rook for a bishop, and large numbers of pawns. If in the game he played bishop f3, if he plays bishop f1, something very similar will happen. Rook f8, he played bishop f3, rook f8 happens anyway. This is very, very, very nice. Bishop is double attacked, he can't go here because I mate. So he has to do this. And now, at first I almost blundered and wanted to take this bishop and then this bishop, because this queen is overworked. The big problem with this, and this is instructive, if you take, your opponent does not have to take right away. He can do this first. So this would be a terrible mistake, because white takes with check, picks this up, and black is in big trouble, and just down a bishop. But of course, I don't have to do this. I found a very nice move, queen e5, which threatens this checkmate, but it also threatens this. And this is the end for the king, and okay. The game ended queen g1, queen e4, and game over. Moral of the story, always look for forcing moves. Whenever your opponent plays something like g5, yes, obviously consider retreating, but also ask yourself, what happens if I sacrifice? Always pay attention to sacrifices, always pay attention to forcing moves. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe, help this channel grow, and I will be back soon. Thank you.